Hello and welcome back to JVSCP. Today we're going to be diving into a handful of SCPs that you could theoretically visit. So SCPs that are locations, essentially. Hope you enjoy. SCP-1539 by Ophite from the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. On the of 2000. The stationary origin point of SCP-1539 was filled with water, with properties identical to reinforced concrete. Mistake? No such substance catalogued. Editorial note. Seismic and ultrasonic monitoring devices remain on-site and active, monitored remotely at Site 17. As no further anomalous objects have originated from SCP-1539 since containment was initiated on the 19. SCP-1539 is considered contained and has been provisionally downgraded to safe. In the unlikely event of a seismic containment breach, SCP-1539 will be assigned high containment priority until refilled. Personnel assigned to SCP-1539 are to be screened for resistance to memetic hazards. Personnel scoring lower than 30 on standardized Levi Buzzard examinations are to be reassigned. For site-specific testing protocols and access to certified memetic samples, consult document MH1792-D. Objects originating from SCP-1539 are to be monitored for a period of no fewer than 90 days. Food and water appropriate for human consumption are to be provided no matter the apparent nature of the object. All feeding periods are to be cross-checked by at least 2 personnel. Missed feedings are to be reported to the site director immediately. If, during the monitoring period, the object exhibits self-directed movement or there is any reduction in the volume of food, the object is to be transferred to Site 17 for long-term containment. See document SCP-1539-LTC for further instructions. Objects not exhibiting self-directed movement during the containment period are to be reported to lead researcher Dr. and disposed of according to standard anomalous objects protocols. Description: SCP-1539-00 is a semantic disassociation zone of irregular shape, roughly 6 meters in diameter, formerly filling the basement laundry room of an apartment complex in Pennsylvania. Objects remaining within the zone for longer than 81 seconds suffer severe identity dysfunction, resulting in dissociation of an object's physical properties from its semantic identity. Dissociated identities may thereafter reattach to any nearby semantically null object. Though viewers' perception and the object's properties are unaffected by identity dysfunction, both first and third-party viewers will identify the object as being of the reassigned category. Current theories propose that the identity transference mechanism is memetic rather than objective. However, cross-resistance with other memetic hazards is minimal, and information regarding the identities of recovered objects should be regarded as provisional at best. For further information, see Ann Larter, A Wood Without Meaning, Objective Identity Dysfunction in the Site 94 Containment Area. SCP-1539-01 is a flush-mounted Sun System brand light fixture, model number R9-0079, non-functional. Unlike the model described by the manufacturer, this light fixture is cylindrical and wooden, 9 cm long by 0.75 cm in diameter, yellow, and contains a permanent graphite filament and a small cylinder of rubberized insulation. Upon examination, this object did not exhibit self-directed movement and is currently completing observation at Site 17. 1539-02 is a 1972 General Electric washer/dryer set, model number 3E98-17BL2, eggshell white. On recovery, it intermittently exhibited self-directed movement and produced sounds similar to human speech. On recovery, it took the physical appearance of a human male in his mid-40s, approximately 187 centimeters tall and weighing 82 kilos. Since that time, it has reduced substantially in mass and produces an offensive smell, presumably resulting from an unrecovered load of laundry. As the machine lacks an identifiable lid, no procedure is currently proposed for recovery of any of the washer's contents. 1539-3 is Agent Jim Thayer, the first responder to the report of SCP-1539. Agent Jim Thayer is a brown leather wallet, roughly 11 centimeters by 9 centimeters in size, containing $11 in US currency. Since his recovery from the site of SCP-1539, Agent Thayer has remained unresponsive, and intensive anti-memetic treatments have failed to show measurable improvement. 1539-04 is unidentifiable. It was originally recovered from a cloth pouch attached to 1539-02. It is gray. It is small enough to be held in a single hand and modular. It is either of human manufacture or natural origin. Pieces removed from 1539-04 are likewise unidentifiable. When recovered, it produced a sound at irregular intervals, but did not exhibit self-directed movement. The sound then stopped. 1539-04 is currently completing observation at Site 17. Document 1539-1-A.
For the attention of V-Team Containment Unit, Site 17, regarding initial SCP-1539 containment.
In short, we should have listened to the dissenting containment report. After containing Site-93, we thought we knew what we were dealing with, a topological anomaly from the crossover region. Primary containment protocols involved dosing Jim with Class B amnestics and giving him 6 weeks in rehab. Clearly, that didn't happen. After intensive review, we have determined that Jim Thayer, wherever he is most likely deceased. Obviously, we can't permit this to happen again. Starting Tuesday, we'll be implementing all B-Team containment recommendations in parallel with Primary. We've gotten appropriations approval from the director, so cost isn't an issue. This isn't the first time Primary Containment has missed the boat on our containment theory, but I can tell you this: it will be the last. On a personal note, the director has declined our request to bury Jim. First of all, we don't know which of the objects he is, and second, while the objects removed from site certainly aren't dangerous, there's an unacceptable consensus risk if anyone looks inside the coffin. In lieu of a funeral, we've brought the containment crates out of storage. If you want to pay your respects, they'll be out in the warehouse foyer starting at 0930 on Monday. Dr. Lead Researcher, SCP-1539.
SCP-2191 by Metaphysician, from the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Keter, formerly Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The Foundation is to maintain surveillance operations, but is otherwise not to directly interfere with SCP-2191 or the ritual practices of communities within the vicinity of the Hoya Forest. Exploration of 2191 is prohibited outside of remotely controlled drones. Foundation operatives are to maintain the facade as forest rangers in the employ of the Romanian government. In the event of a 2191 security breach by civilians or hostile entities, lethal force is authorized. Description: SCP-2191 is a temple complex located within the dense Hoya forest of Romania. The first 2 floors of the structure hold a close resemblance to Eastern Orthodox monasteries commonly found in the region. This is suspected to have been a deliberate effort to disguise the true nature of 2191. Thracian and Dacian architecture have both been discovered in the lower levels of the temple complex, and artifacts belonging to the Cucuteni Tripilian culture have been recovered from the system of tunnels that makes up the lowest known portion of SCP-2191. The caverns of 2191 are not thought to have formed naturally and were likely constructed circa 4800 to 3000 BC. SCP-2191 is inhabited by a population of organisms classified as 2191-1. Instances of -1 are considered genetically human but have undergone several significant, seemingly fatal mutations. -1 lack all major internal organs with the exceptions of the lungs, heart, and brainstem. The outer epidermis lacks pigmentation and displays a condition resembling cracked porcelain, possibly related to Harlequin syndrome. Entities appear androgynous, lacking or having somehow removed secondary sex characteristics. Their regressed eyes are covered by a layer of skin, rendering them mostly blind but still able to react to light, universally displaying aversion to wavelengths of 100 nanometers. Further deviations from baseline Homo sapiens include especially flat, upturned noses and funnel-shaped ears, both considered related to their dependency on olfactory and auditory perception. -1 do not appear to communicate via language, the only sound produced being a persistent clicking of the tongue, speculated to be a form of echolocation. -1 do not readily appear to undergo senescence and have not aged since containment. Further analysis have revealed an abnormally slow metabolism. -1 instances are not believed to be biologically immortal, but have a significantly decreased rate of necrosis. SCP-2191-2 refers to a collective of vermiform organisms. These organisms vary in size, form, and purpose, and are accordingly classified as -2A, -2B, and -2C. Genetic analysis of -2 show close relation with fellow subgroups, their most recent common ancestors being Homo sapiens. It has been speculated that -2 did not naturally evolve on their own, but their true origin remains unknown. -2A superficially resemble petromesontiforms, lamprey, but whose internal structure more closely resemble Hirudinea, leeches. Each -1 has a -2A instance within their abdomen, primarily located where the stomach and large/small intestines would exist. -2B are an infestation of vermiform organisms that live throughout the hollow walls of 2191. 2191 appears to have been constructed with a system of channels through which 2B travel. These thin, long organisms will enter -1's orifices, primarily via the mouth or rectum, but do not appear to cause harm or discomfort to their hosts. -2B are believed to redistribute nutrients throughout 2191, extracted from any -1 which have recently fed. 2191-2C, like 2191-2B, inhabit the interior architecture of 2191. These tendril-like appendages are composed primarily of neurons and attach to -1 at the base of the spine while inactive. Only when attached to -2C do -1 display behavior resembling that of a sapient organism, including posturing suggestive of prayer. -1 are considered inactive while connected to 2C. During an active state, -1 entities will leave 2191 and aggressively hunt for living humans, ignoring non-human animals and deceased individuals. Occur simultaneously among -1, although an active state will always occur between dusk and dawn. Nor do they hunt as a pack, choosing to spread throughout the forest. A paralytic agent is deployed to disable their prey, injected via venom-delivering barbs located in the lower carpals of both hands. When prey has been successfully incapacitated, -1 will open its mouth and widen its throat, unhinging its jaw in the process. -2A will then emerge from -1's interior cavity, initiating the feeding process by latching to the victim's neck via a toothed, funnel-like sucking mouth. -2A will first inject the body with digestive enzymes, liquidizing organ, muscle, and bone alike before consuming the resultant fluids. The process can last anywhere from 20 to 50 minutes depending on the size of its prey. Although known to those living in the vicinity of the Hoya forest, 2191 was not recognized by the Foundation as an anomaly until August of 1916, after the unexplained disappearance of 244 members of the Austro-Hungarian First Army during the Battle of Transylvania. Due to the First World War, operations to contain the threat did not begin until early 1919. Without a source of food, -1 entities appeared to enter a dormant state as of December 1924. Several incidents occurring between 1932 and 1977 would result in the discovery of SCP-2191-3.
Access granted.
26 September 1932. Greece.
The Erissos earthquake devastates the Chalkidiki Peninsula and results in 491 reported casualties. 126 individuals were unaccounted for, but the event was ultimately deemed non-anomalous, a connection to SCP-2191 established years later.
December 26, 1939. Turkey.
The Erzincan earthquake results in the death of approximately 33,000 people. Locals report a great serpent rising from the ground at the onset of the earthquake. The Foundation begins to investigate the region.
November 10, 1940. Romania.
An earthquake strikes Vrancia. Casualties are low. Civilians report vampire attacks in wake of the disaster. Media outlets publicly dismissing the claim as superstition.
March 18, 1953. Turkey.
The Yeniz-Gönen earthquake causes widespread damage, killing over 1,000 people. Several survivors report seeing the arm of an octopus rupture from the earth. Civilians report pale men attacking survivors in the night, reports ceasing after approximately 1 month after the disaster.
July 26, 1963. Macedonia.
The Skopje earthquake kills over 1,000 people and renders 200,000 homeless. Approximately 500 would go missing in wake of the disaster. Reports of pale men in the night are common.
March 4, 1977. Romania.
The Vrancia earthquake kills over 1,500. However, only 800 bodies are accounted for. Reports of pale men and tendrils pulling victims beneath the ground. Panic spreads throughout the region. Foundation operatives are able to confirm a connection to 2191.
Access granted.
SCP-2191-3. -3 is an organism whose core is located deep beneath 2191. Its true size has proven difficult, if not entirely impossible, to measure, but root-like appendages extend throughout an area of approximately 660,000 square kilometers. -3 secretes a highly corrosive substance which is employed in the creation of tunnels throughout the Balkan Peninsula. -3 is sapient and exerts control over -1 and -2 organisms via physical interaction with -2C and through the release of complex pheromones. -1 entities, through the use of -2A and -2B, act as feeder drones for -3. It has since been discovered that civilians native to several isolated villages in vicinity of Hoya Forest have actively provided human sacrifices to 2191 as a means of minimizing seismic activity.
Access granted.
Interview / 1977.
Interviewed. Draga Negrescu. Interviewer. Dr. Judith Lowe. Forward. Draga Negrescu is a village elder and midwife, 96 years of age, from. She has proven knowledgeable with regards to the folklore and traditions associated with 2191, and claims to be a descendant of the Solomonari. Interview conducted in Daco, Romanian.
What can you tell me about the temple? It is where the mother resides. Like a queen, she sends her faithful bees to collect nectar. Like good beekeepers, we help the hive flourish. As you now know, it is best for all that we be allowed to continue our sacred duty. Who is the mother? The mother was once a princess, the most beautiful daughter of the Blood Empress. The great Karcist, sorcerer king of Vaditun, sought to conquer her as he did the domain of the Blood Empress. He claimed her, as was his right, and she became his favored concubine. In time she came to worship the great Karcist, just as we who hold the old ways do. She begged to bear his children, and the great Karcist blessed her with his sacred seed. The mother swelled with joy and life. Here she was planted, and here she grew. We, like the pale ones, must keep her fat and satisfied. The pale spew the nectar into her many mouths, and her brood suckle upon her teats and grow strong. The mother and the land are now one. Her earthen womb swells, and soon she will rupture. All around you is tinder for the gods.
Access granted.
A statement from the O5 Council.
There are some who wish to believe that the Foundation has never, nor will ever, cater to the designs and desires of an anomalous entity. Foundation efforts to contain SCP-2191 are now thought to have inadvertently led to the deaths of approximately 40,000 over 45 years. The obvious choice would be to neutralize the threat. And we've tried. The number of civilian and Foundation casualties being well beyond acceptable numbers. In order to contain the larger threat, we must allow it to feed. We are aware of the offense caused by this procedure. This is not the first time, nor will it be the last, that the Foundation has been forced to commit a lesser evil in prevention of a greater. We do believe that in the end our current method is the most preferable with regards to both ethics and efficiency. We are fully aware that every sacrifice feeds SCP-2191-3, allowing it and its brood to thrive. But we're not about to sacrifice the entire Balkan Peninsula to neutralize that threat. Not yet.
SCP-028 by Dr. Gears from the SCP Wiki. Object Class Safe. Special containment procedures. No special means are needed to contain at this time, as 28 has not shown any change in size, position, or shape during the entire period of its containment, but access must be restricted. Currently, 028 is contained on site, as 028 is not transportable by any known means. 028 is sealed in a 6x6x3 meter concrete room with a single door, with 2 armed personnel stationed outside. Only authorized personnel are to be allowed exposure to 028, and extreme care must be taken at all times. While 028 is itself harmless, the effects can be very damaging to the unprepared. See document EL-028-1125. Description: SCP-028 is located in an abandoned storage yard outside a copper mine in northern Michigan. 028 has no detectable physical presence of any kind, but its effect occurs in a 2.1 meter cube around what is commonly held as the center of SCP-028. All forms of scanning and testing in the area of 028 have shown no abnormal readings. Adding or removing objects or attempting to remove dirt from under 028 has no effect in altering the size or shape of 28's area of effect, nor the onset or quality of the effect. Subjects entering 028 are, within 3 to 6 seconds, struck by total and complete knowledge of a subject. This knowledge is thus far completely random in both size and usefulness, and sometimes goes unnoticed for extended periods of time. More profound knowledge generally has a stronger effect, with some cases
Expunged. See document EL-028-1125.
This effect can be experienced multiple times by exiting and re-entering 028, but can result in increasingly strong migraines and dizziness after 2 exposures. SCP-028 came to the Foundation's attention after research into news reports of a local miner who submitted a design for a cold fusion reactor to the US Patent Office. Mr. reported that it just came to me like a bolt out of the blue. News and subjects were suppressed and contained after discovery of 28, and the reactor designs implemented in the containment of SCP-1995. Subsequent testing of 028 has yielded mixed results.
Document number EL-028-1114.
Every phone book entry for New York City in 1998. how to redesign the internal combustion engine to run on human blood, using only pre-existing parts. Note: full redesign takes 4 hours and runs at higher efficiency than gasoline. Location of keys for a Buick Le Sabre. The proper method of care for a mole rat colony. Origin and history of 12 SCP objects. Family history of the Blackthorn family located in London, England. Geological structure of the Earth beneath Greenland, including several unknown caves and
Document number EL028-1125. Log E112.
Subject D1182 exposed to 028. Subject began to cry and went into fetal position, showing signs of high distress. Unresponsive to questioning and outside stimulus for several days. Lapsed into catatonia shortly after stating that this is not life. Subject passed into a coma and died shortly thereafter. Cause of death was attributed to shock.
E127.
Agent accidentally exposed to SCP-028. Agent showed signs of sudden surprise and bemusement. When questioned, Agent requested
"A moment to gather my thoughts, please."
After several seconds, Agent laughed, shook his head and removed his service pistol from its holster. Agent then shot and wounded Doctor and killed Agent before being restrained. Post-incident interrogation revealed Agent had extensive knowledge of classified Foundation activities and several SCP objects he had not been previously exposed to, including SCP-2669. Any Foundation personnel found to have entered 028's area of effect are to be detained indefinitely.
Document number EL028-1128. Log Experiment 189.
0319 at 1146.
Subject D9843 was exposed to SCP-028.
0319 at 1337.
Examination of subjects revealed abnormal respiratory actions.
0319 at 1721.
Questioning revealed subject had learned to recycle the carbon dioxide inside his body.
0324 at 1211.
Repeated attempts to teach this skill to other D-Class personnel failed.
0718 at 1503.
Subject terminated.
0718 at 1837.
Autopsy reveals no abnormal organ formations. Researchers note: Dr.
But seriously, how the hell did he do that?
Thank you so much for watching the second video here on the JVSCP channel. If you have any favorite location-based SCPs, leave them down in the comments for if we do a second part of whatever this was, or just your general favorite SCPs that you might want us to cover, leave that as well down in the comments. In the description there should be a link to our Patreon if you want to support us, but regardless, hope to see you in the next one.